So we will discuss the difference between the change in QS, or the change in quantity supplied, and the change in supply. So just like the change in demand and the change in quantity demanded, for the change in quantity supplied, what causes the change is the price of the good itself. Nothing less, nothing more. It's only the price. Whereas the change in supply, what causes the change would be one of the other factors or other determinants. So if you could still recall, there are several determinants or factors affecting supply, like your cost of production, change in technology, number of firms, etc., etc. So let's have an example here. What will happen to the supply curve of chicken when the price of chicken in the market increases? So you go back now to the law of supply. As price increases, QS also increases. So in our example, when the price of chicken in the market increases, the supply, the quantity supply of chicken will also increase. Thus, if you're going to present that in the graph, it will look like this. So since it is increasing, the price also increases here. So let's denote this as your original price, or P1. So since it increases, we have to move the price to P2. It moves up to P2. Okay, so here. So if you're going to put points here, this is point A, and this is point B. The same with your Q. So this is your Q1. This is your original quantity when the price is at P1. Now, your quantity increases as price increases. Let's denote this as Q2. So it goes to the right here, so meaning it increases. Your Q increases as your price increases. See? Right. Now, how about change in supply? Change in supply is other determinants. There is no movement along the supply curve. However, the supply curve will either shift to the right if it will increase, and it will shift to the left if it is decreasing. So let's have an example. What will happen to the supply curve of bread when the price of flour increases? It will decrease. Right? So how do you show that one in the supply curve? Will it look like this? No, because it's not the price of the bread itself, but the price of flour. You know that the flour is what? The key ingredient in producing bread. So mean to say that is the cost of production. It's not the price itself of the bread, but the cost of producing the bread. Okay? So since it decreases, it will look like this. So assuming that this is your original supply curve, since it decreases, it will shift to the left. Now you have your new supply curve. Okay? Let's have another example here. Okay, for the change in supply. What will happen to the supply curve of rice when typhoon, a certain typhoon, hits the rice paddy, or the area wherein your rice is growing? It will decrease. The same way, it will look like this. Okay, it will shift to the left. Questions? Alright.